Hello everyone. First of all, I would like to introduce myself, Sandip Rathod, MSc BL, SETNET in Organic Chemistry. My teaching subject, Chemistry. I have 3-year experience, UG and PG Department of Chemistry at PN College, Pusat. We are going to discuss the chemistry subject. The chapter 3 involve in 3 points: electronic displacement, reaction intermediate, aliphatic hydrocarbons. The electronic displacement is the most important factors on organic chemistry. Each and every reaction is affected by the electronic displacement because the electron donating group and electron withdrawing groups affect on the reactions. The electron withdrawing group and electron donating groups, the reactivity, stability, basicity and acidity increase or decrease affected by the electronic displacement. The electronic displacement is the most important factors in organic chemistry. Because electronic displacement means the electron transfer from one atom to another atom in a molecule is called as the electronic displacement. And electronic displacements occurs when the electron move toward the one atoms or part of the molecule is called as the electronic displacement. The electronic displacement, the organic reaction is influenced by the electronic displacements taking place in a covalent bond. These electronic displacement in a molecule may be due to in certain effect, permanent effect or temporary effect. Permanent effects such as the inductive effect or resonance effect. Other are temporary effects such as the electromagnetic effect. The temporary effect operating in a molecules are called as the polarization effect, and temporary effects brought into play by the attacking reagent, and as soon as the attacking reagent is removed, the electronic displacements disappear. Such an effect are called as the electronic displacement. The electronic displacement is the most factors for organic reactions. Discuss the first point in electronic displacements. Inductive effect. Inductive effects, there are two types: positive inductive effect or negative inductive effects. Okay, then explanations next video. Firstly, explanations of inductive effect. Inductive effects means the permanent polarizations created in a covalent bond due to the displacement of the sigma electron toward the more electronegative atom is called as the inductive effect. Inductive effects means the permanently polarizations in a covalent bonds due to the displacement of the electrons toward the more electronegative atom is called as the inductive effects. It involve the sigma electrons or sigma bonds. The sigma electron which form the covalent bonds are share equally between the two atoms. If the bonded atoms have the different electronegativity, then the bonding electron attract toward the more electronegativity atoms, which induce the certain degree of polarity in a covalent bonds. The more electronegativity atoms acquire the partially negatively charged, and less electronegativity atom acquire the partially positively charged. Consider the carbon and chlorine bonds. As the chlorine is a more electronegativity atoms, it will become the negatively charged, and with respect to carbon atom is a partially positively charged. The structure indicate the relatively charge on the two atoms which is the negatively charged and positively charged. The arrow headed place between the middle of the bond indicating the directions in which the electrons are displaced toward the chlorine atoms. Chlorine is a more electronegativity atom than the carbon atom. This is the inductive effect. This is the inductive effects. The firstly involved in a sigma electrons. Sigma electron. Sigma electrons which form the covalent bond. This is the covalent bond. Carbon, chlorine also covalent bond. Hydrogen molecule also covalent bond. ClCl molecule also covalent bonds. Carbon and chlorine present in a polarity. Polarity present. This is the inductive effect. Polarity presents because the electronegativity different between two different atoms, chlorine and carbon. Chlorine is a more electronegativity atoms. It acquires the partially negatively charged, and with respect to carbon atoms, it acquires the partially positively charged. This is the inductive effect. The more electronegativity atoms attract the electron toward itself as compared the another atoms. Then the inductive effect refer the polarity produced in a molecules. As a result, higher electronegativity atoms one atoms compare the another atoms. There are two type of inductive effect. First is a positive inductive effect and second is a negative inductive effect. Now explain the positive inductive effect and negative inductive effects. The positive inductive effects means positive inductive effects plus I effect. The atoms or groups which loss electron toward carbon atom are said to have positive I effect. This is the positive inductive effect. For example, CH3 methyl group, CH3 secondary groups or SO groups, tertiary group, CH3. This is the electron donating groups. Electron donating or electron loss toward the more electronegativity atoms is called as the positive inductive effect. Then second is the negative inductive effect. Negative I effect means atoms or group which withdraw electrons away from the carbon atoms are called as the negative inductive effects. Atoms or groups which withdraw electrons away from carbon atoms are said to have negative I effect. For example, chlorine, bromine, iodines, cyanides, nitro groups, benzene group, all carbonyl groups, aldehydes, ketone, acid, ester groups, etc. Inductive effect, there are two types, positive inductive effects or negative inductive effects. Positive or negative inductive effect. Positive means atoms or group which lost the electron toward the carbon atoms to have plus I effect. For example, CH3, secondary group and tertiary group, etc. Negative inductive effects means negative I effect. Atoms or group which withdraw electron away from the carbon atoms are said to have negative I effect. For example, chlorine, bromine, iodine, cyanide, nitro group, benzene, aldehyde, ketones, acid, ester group, etc. Okay. Inductive effect. This is the inductive effect. Inductive effects means permanent polarizations created in a covalent bond due to the displacement of the electron, sigma electron, toward the more electronegative atom.